Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk about how to switch from feeling quite meh, feeling quite low, to feeling positive. I have been feeling pretty low in the last week or so, and to be honest, I couldn't really figure out what it was. You know, when you have an issue and you're like, I need to get to the depths of this, like what is going on? Why am I feeling like this? And I think like one of the most important things and the main reason why I was feeling so low was because of the weather. Now, unfortunately, I can't control the weather. I can't choose what happens. I can't make it sunny every single day. So I think I really got myself into a hole of being like meh from the weather. And then on top of that, I was feeling quite exhausted. I've had quite a few like busy weekends where I've been doing a lot or going different places. And whilst I've been quite wholesome and relaxed, I've still been in different places. So I was feeling really, really exhausted and I hadn't really like caught up with myself. And I know when I'm feeling exhausted because I just feel like I can't do anything. I feel so drained and I just want to lay on the sofa. I don't want to do anything else. And this weekend I just gave myself time to like relax, recoup, feel a bit better, like actually just lay on the sofa. And whilst I do sit on the sofa most nights and stuff like that, I'm often like, my mind is busy. I just sat on the sofa, I laid on the sofa, I chilled. Do you know what I mean? I did all those relaxing things and it actually really benefited me. But I have been feeling really meh and like I still feel a little bit weird. I still feel not quite there. So I thought we could talk about the things that you can do to make yourself feel more positive when you're feeling a bit crap. Like what can you do to get yourself out of that hole? And make yourself feel a bit more positive, because it's so easy to keep dipping back into the negative. I can see myself doing it all the time. Like I started doing a few more of like my positive like rituals that I like to do. Like I have this 5-minute a day journal which I do in the morning and the evening. So I started doing that again because I completely stopped doing that. But it wasn't bringing the positive mindset back to me. I was like, this isn't working. Obviously it takes a bit of time. You can't expect it to happen overnight. But I was feeling a little bit like, this isn't working. Like, why is it not working? So there's obviously so many things you can do to like build upon getting back to that positive mindset, and stop you slipping back into those like negative thoughts. One thing I actually tried this morning, which I really quite enjoyed, was listening to a affirmations podcast. Now let me find the podcast for you because I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, and I really enjoyed the podcast episodes. It's called Empowered Affirmations. And she was just like different ones for different things. So if you want like wealth, if you want positivity, if you want self-confidence, she's got loads of different ones, which are great to listen to in the morning. Waking up, just putting it on, not looking at your phone, not looking at social media, and just like filling your mind with some positive thoughts to start the day, which is always really, really good. One thing I keep finding that's happening to me recently is that I'm waking up and I'm waking up just after a dream. So my mind is full of whatever I was dreaming of. And I'm finding it then hard to get out of that. And sometimes the dreams aren't particularly positive. So then I'm like, oh, I feel like sluggish after that. So then getting up straight away, putting the podcast on, listening to these affirmations, and you just like repeat them with her, really, really has kind of made me feel a little bit better this morning. And I'm going to try and do it like every single day, and hopefully they'll just boost me and make me feel a little bit better in the mornings. And one thing I'm really trying to do is not look at my phone, and I think that's a really, really important thing to do when you're trying to switch to a positive feeling, is when you wake up, turn your alarm off and do not look at social media, because social media can really determine how you might feel. I think that if you see someone that you don't like, they're saying something really positive, or they've achieved something, or I don't know, someone's been out, or you see two people together and you didn't realize that they were friends or whatever, or you see a news article, instantly it can like really put you down and make you feel a bit crap. So it's important to start your day feeling positive and doing positive things. So sometimes I like to just give my flat a clean, not like properly cleaning it, but tidying up from maybe the evening before, putting things away, putting the washing up away, putting, any clothes that need to be folded up away. Just doing a few little bits like that before I sit down and start the day or get ready just really helps me to like feel a little bit like I've done something in the morning and stop myself from going straight to social media, because I think that's the last thing you want, like first thing in the morning. So listening to an affirmations podcast or doing a bit of reading, whatever like floats your boat. Maybe you have a coffee, whatever you like to do in the mornings, do that before you look at your phone. Like start your day a bit before you even think about looking at your phone, because you don't need to look at your phone. We just kind of got into this habit now of instantly going straight to your phone. Talking of, waking up and doing things, having a clean space is really, really important. Now, I'd like to do this in the morning sometimes, just if I've left bits out from the evening before, I've not put them away, I'll maybe tidy up the bits and bobs that I have. Maybe like there's a few dishes that haven't been washed, or maybe I left some stuff on the coffee table, and I'll just clean it all up and I'll put it all away. But also, if you're looking around your space, your bedroom, wherever you are, and you're thinking, God, this is a mess, why am I not putting things away? Why have I just thrown that on the floor? Clean it up. Because when you've got a clean space, you often have a clean mind, and a clean mind can then make you feel ready to add some more positivity into your life. If you're living in a space that's messy and then your mind feels messy, then you can't begin to make yourself feel more positive, because you're just all over the place. I often find when I have those moments when I'm all over the place, it's because my space is a mess. I've not put things away. I've not actually given myself a bit of time to just tidy. Tidying often can just take 10 minutes. You don't have to spend a long time. Even if that's just shoving things in a cupboard to put it away. Do that just to ease your mind a little bit. Obviously, it's probably better to clean the cupboard and have everything organised, but I have a Monica cupboard and it's full of all sorts of stuff that I need to sort out, but it does the trick for now. Oh, I just knocked the mic. It does the trick for now, and that's fine, and it's away until I'm ready to then sort it out. We're keeping it as is. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's no problem with having a Monica cupboard and then having a clean flat, because that's exactly how my flat is. It's clean, it's tidy, but the cupboard, oh, you do not want to go in there. You did not want to go in there. Next is pampering yourself. I actually did this on the weekend. I had a really nice pamper day. I had a bath, which I don't usually do. I don't particularly love baths, but I gave myself a bath and I scrubbed all my tan off, and then I moisturised and I fake tanned and I did my toenails because they needed doing. And I tidied my flat and did a bit of ironing and watched some nice TV. Well, I don't really watch TV, but I watched Gossip Girl. It's now on Netflix again if you're a Gossip Girl fan. And I did all these things and I felt so much better in myself, and I was like, okay, I feel good. I feel like a bit more refreshed. I feel a little bit more like I've been more myself. Pampering can be however you want to do pampering. If pampering is going shopping, if pampering is making a nice meal or going for a nice walk, whatever makes you feel good, do those things, and then you should feel a little bit better. And pampering is something you should do more often than not. I think I forget sometimes to do pampers. I forget to actually give myself a bit of time to be like, right, I'm going to treat myself to a face mask, or I'm going to treat myself to a nice walk, or go and get a nice pastry or something like that. Treat yourself to something that makes you feel good. Going off what I was just saying, cooking good meals. One thing I will say, and I've definitely learned over the last couple of weeks, is that when you eat crap food, you won't feel any better. Eating good food will make you feel better, which sounds silly because it's like, I don't want to cook, I'm not in the mood to cook. Actually making a nice meal, making something that makes you feel good, that you've put time and effort into, will probably make you feel a lot more positive and better than eating a pizza and buying ready meals or getting Deliveroo. Eating something good will make you feel better. And I have literally in the last week basically not done any cooking and just had anything that's either a takeaway or shop bought. I've not actually made anything, and I feel kind of crap in myself. I'm like, ugh, what's wrong with you, Charlotte? This isn't a good vibe. So I think cooking a good meal is really good, and try and cut out the crap. I usually only ever have a takeaway maybe maximum once a week. This week I've done it twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know. I was having a bad week. So cut the crap, eat a good meal. Next one is be kind to yourself. when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, make sure you're kind to yourself and you say, do you know what? It's okay to feel a bit crap. It's okay to feel a bit down. It's okay to be a bit exhausted. Just give yourself a bit of time and say, do you know what's fine? You're all good. Be kind to yourself, because if you get annoyed with yourself, if you get like pissed off that you're not doing enough or you're not feeling your best, you're only going to make yourself feel worse. So sit yourself down, be kind to yourself, just allow yourself to feel the way you're feeling, and then then take a step to be like, right, we're going to change this. We're going to make yourself feel better, because it's okay to feel a bit crap. It's okay to feel down. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes we have those moments. It's very, very normal, especially when the weather's rubbish or you haven't got much going on, or maybe you've just not been feeling your best anyway. Like, it's very, very normal. Just be kind to yourself and make sure you're looking after yourself, and saying, like, affirmations are great to do when you're feeling a little bit low and you're not feeling great. Just remind yourself how great you are and how amazing you are, and hopefully then you should start to feel a little bit better. Linking back to the one I said before about social media scrolling in the morning, cut it out. Cut your social media scrolling down to a minimum. I mean, for me, I find it quite hard because it's my job, but don't scroll so much in the mornings. Don't, like, every time you have a break, instantly go and scroll on social media, because it's not benefiting you. It genuinely isn't benefiting you. For me, it is on the fence because it's work, but I try basically I scroll a lot and I try to stop myself, and sometimes I tell myself off. I'm like, Charlotte, stop scrolling, because it's so easy to continually scroll and constantly be thinking about, oh my God, like, I can't do anything else. I just need to scroll. And it just doesn't work. Cut the scrolling out, because you'll stop worrying about what other people are doing and seeing what other people are doing, and that knocking your confidence about whatever. And you'll start just focusing on yourself and not thinking about what other people are doing. You can obviously scroll on social media. Just don't spend so much of your free time doing that. Spend your free time maybe doing something else. Put a wash on, do some ironing, maybe read a book, maybe go for a walk, whatever you want to do, but cut the social media scrolling down, and maybe give yourself like a time limit, or give yourself certain times in the day where you can scroll on your phone. Maybe a little bit at lunchtime, a bit in the evening, a bit in the morning if you want to, but like give yourself a few hours where you're not scrolling. Especially if you're at work, I guess it's a little bit easier, but maybe give yourself time slots. That's definitely something I need to do. Something that leads on from the previous one is avoid getting in the comparison hole. One thing you will find if you're on social media a lot, scrolling a lot, is that you can compare your lives to other people's. Now, as I've said many times before, what people put on social media is not the life that they actually live. It's only a snippet. You don't get to see the full extent of their life, because how could you? You could never see the full extent of someone's life unless you were living with them. So, and even then you wouldn't be able to see the extent of their life. So don't compare. It's very, very easy, and believe you me, I compare often. I get into that hole. But I try to stop myself by being like, no, do you know what? You are just as capable as doing all these things as the next person. You are just as good as them. Just because they're getting their dreams doesn't mean to say you won't get your dreams. I think sometimes when you go into the comparison hole, it can make you feel 10 times worse, and then you hit that spiral, and you're spiraling about things you don't need to be spiraling about, and it's not benefiting you. So try to avoid the comparison hole, which it also links very much to try to avoid scrolling on social media so much, because if you avoid the social media, you avoid the comparison, and then you just start to feel better in yourself. And this is mostly important when you're in these like transition periods of feeling a bit shit to being positive. Just avoid the social media for a bit and just focus on yourself before you get into a hole. But if you can get yourself back to feeling a bit more positive, then you can start to add in social media a bit more, and you can stop yourself from comparing. I feel like when you're in a positive mindset, you don't compare as much, but when you feel yourself dipping into the negative, that's when the comparison comes along. One thing you can do is make some fun plans. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling a bit crap, get yourself out of the house. Do some fun things. It doesn't have to be anything huge. It doesn't have to be anything that's going to drain your social battery, because especially if you've been really busy, maybe you're a bit exhausted. Do some fun plans. Maybe that's just meeting up with a friend for a coffee. Maybe that's just popping to the shops and getting yourself something nice. Maybe that's like, I don't know, going for drinks with a friend, or seeing your family, or going for a dog walk, whatever. do something fun that makes you feel good. Maybe do something creative. Pottery painting is a great thing to do, by the way. If you haven't done that, that's very therapeutic. Do something that just makes you feel good, that's fun for you. If you like working out, maybe go work out. Just do anything that makes you feel good, that's fun, that you enjoy, because it will bring a bit more positive vibes into your life. Gratitude is one thing that we can all do, and something that I am trying to do a little bit more of. I do it quite a lot. I am very grateful for my life, and I often say things out loud like, I'm so grateful for this, I'm so grateful I get to do this. But writing your gratitude list down is a really good way of doing it, because you you're not only saying it in your mind, but you're writing it down, you're getting it out. So having a gratitude journal is really, really good. You can either use like a 5-minute a day journal, which is what I use, which has got prompts. You can write a list of your 10 things that you're grateful for. You can just journal your positive thoughts. You can do affirmations, whatever you find easy for you and your lifestyle. Do that. Like journaling, sometimes if you have like something on your mind that's a little bit like maybe negative, but you want to get it out and you can't really find a way of getting it out, journaling is a really good way of doing that. Just kind of get out your negative and then flip it and think about the positive from that negative. It's a really good way of doing it. Sometimes I find that just writing something out really gets it out, especially if you're not really wanting to talk to anyone about it, or you don't have anyone that you want to say. It might be something really stupid, like, I don't know, you're jealous of someone and it's the most minuscule thing, but it's really hit you. Like, just write it down and have like that kind of, get it out and twist it on its head and think about the positive from it. And we're going to end on something that is something we should all remember when you're feeling a bit meh and you're feeling like, oh, I just don't feel good about this. Is that remember that everything is good. Everything is so good. Like, even though you're feeling crap and you're not feeling your best, life is good. And remember, you're okay. And even if you just managed to get out of bed that morning and you just managed to, cook yourself something, or you feel like you're finally feeling a little bit better in yourself, then that's an achievement in itself. I think sometimes we forget that if you haven't done something big, then it's not an achievement. There are so many achievements, like just feeling like you can get out of bed and being more motivated in the morning, or doing something where you're not scrolling on social media straight away is so good. Like the amount of times I wake up and I instantly just scroll on my phone, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I sitting here waking up straight away and just sitting and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling? Not much happens overnight on social media unless you follow people from other countries. So why am I waking up, sat there, and then scrolling through it all? I've seen a lot of this already. So that is something that I really kind of have to remind myself. I'm like, you don't need to be doing this. But, when I started my new morning routine this morning, and I was like, do you know what, this does make me feel better. And I did feel more awake, because I went to sleep super late last night because I could not get sleep, and I did feel more awake and I did feel more alive. My dad's always told me that when your alarm goes off, the first thing you should do once you turn it off is get out of bed straight away. And even though that's so hard to do sometimes when you're feeling really tired, it's also the best thing you can do, because it immediately wakes your body up. If you lay in bed for longer than you need to, you start to feel more lethargic. You start to feel more like relaxed, which isn't what you want when you're waking up, because most of the time when your alarm goes off, you need to get up, you need to go to work, you need to go somewhere, you need to get ready for something. So when your alarm goes off, get up and go and crack on with the day. Don't lay in bed, lay around. Even if that means getting up, getting out of bed and walking to the sofa, that's still an achievement in itself, because you have got out of bed. Even though I don't think sitting on the sofa is the best thing, because you can still feel very like relaxed and lethargic on a sofa, but I do think it's a good way of like just feeling a little bit more like awake and alive. And that way you can get a coffee, you can make yourself a tea, you can, if you have it in you, a good thing to do in the minute you wake up is like put some clothes on and just go outside, have a little walk. I don't have that in me, because also like where I live, there's not anywhere super nice to walk in the mornings. Where I used to live, there was a really nice, I lived like kind of close to a river, the river part of the River Thames, like not the main part that we all know, like a bit further out. And it was so nice in the mornings when the sun was rising, and I really enjoyed that because it was almost like I felt like I was near nature. Whereas where I live right now, there's not anything super close. I mean, I live near a park, but the park it doesn't fill me with joy. Do you know what I mean? It's a very bog standard park, so I don't often find that really helps. But I do think getting up and getting some fresh air. I should really open my balcony door and sit outside, but I'm also like, I don't want to go outside right now. So whatever you can do to make your life a little bit more positive in the mornings is a really good way of just, getting yourself back to where you want to be. And just remember, you just got to give yourself time. No positive mindset or affirmation is going to make you feel positive like straight away. It's a process. It's reminding yourself that good things are coming, that it's going to get better. It's bringing in the positive vibes. It's saying positive things to yourself. It's not letting yourself get into negative mindsets. And that is all about just, giving yourself a bit of time and finding things that work for you, because everyone's different and everyone is going to have things that work for them and things that don't work for them. And it's just finding what works for you. Like, I quite like my 5-minute a day journal that I do, because I write it in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I write in it. And then before I go to sleep, I also finish it. And it's really nice because it's just something that I remind myself what I said in the morning, and then in the evening, it asks you like, what were 3 good things that happened this day? And you can think about what the good things that happened. And it's quite nice if you wrote something like, I really want to have a positive day. And then you can be like, I had a positive day. It's like, okay, well, what I said this morning really came true. And it makes you feel a little bit better. So I do recommend that. It's a really, really good little journal you can get. Has the prompts. You don't have to think about it too much, which is great in the morning when you're like half asleep. But there are so many journals out there. One you can get also is 1 line a day. Is it 1 line a day? I think it's called 1 line a day. And you can write in one positive thing that happened each day. I used to do one of those, but I don't know where it is anymore, and I kind of lost the want to do it because I had to do it every single day and I kept forgetting. So yeah, that's a good thing to do if you want. It's also a good way of remembering like memories and good things that happen. Like, I just love the idea of that. I think it's really nice. So yeah, that's a really good one. If you want to, like, at the end of the day, think of the positive that happened each day, that's a really good way of doing it, because you're just writing one good thing. And even if every single day the one positive thing is I got out of bed or I made a cup of tea, like, that's still a positive thing to say. And I think the idea of 1 line a day is like to remember something that happened. But I also think that it can be used in a different way, where it's just like, what was the good thing from today? And it can be anything. So yeah, those are my little tips on making yourself feel a bit more positive when you're feeling a bit meh. This is a shorter episode, but I really wanted to just give you guys the tips that I've been taking on board myself to make myself feel better if you're also feeling a bit crap at the moment, because I'm sure there's probably someone out there who's also feeling the same way. And it's nice to just sometimes have a little bit of a reminder that it's okay to feel a bit crap and it's okay to not feel your best, but there are ways of making yourself feel better. And hopefully this episode will have given you some sort of idea to make yourself feel a little bit better about things, because it's very, very normal. And I have to admit, the positive affirmations I was listening to this morning have really made me feel quite good. So I'm feeling good about that. But anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Remember, you've still got time to feel positive and remove that meh feeling that you have. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in next week's episode. Bye.